Hey guys, it's Sam. Welcome back, or well, I guess welcome to a different timeline. I haven't really made a first official video yet. So yeah, today's video, I wanted to do about GIFs, about making GIFs, about how I make my GIFs. Yeah, I don't know, I use Procreate, it's pretty simple. I am a GIPHY artist, so you can find my GIFs for your stories on Instagram, on Snapchat, using GIFTime, using the code GIFTime. You can just search for that and it'll pull them up. So if you do, tag me in your stories. I would love to see you use them. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to go over what settings I use, different methods I use. I don't go into anything too complicated, but if you have any questions about what I'm doing, let me know. If you have any questions about being a GIPHY artist or how I got my account approved, just let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, so let's get to it. Okay, so we've got our iPad. I use the Apple Pencil, and we're gonna open Procreate. Mine's not organized at all. But so the first thing that I'm going to tell you about is what settings I use for my GIFs. So I usually draw on a 3240 by 3240 square canvas, but for Procreate in the exporting settings, I use a much smaller one for my GIFs. So it exports to my phone and I can upload it to Instagram, basically. So I'll go over exporting and like how I export it and stuff later, but first we have to create it. So we're gonna use this 1500 by 1500. Choose black. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is go to our little settings wrench up here. We're gonna go to canvas and animation assist. We're gonna turn it on. Okay, so down here you have one frame because you have one layer. If you add a second layer, it's gonna add a second frame, or you can add frame by clicking this little thing down here. So you can go to settings, you can play around with frames per second, how many you want. Do you want a lot, do you not? And then as you're drawing, you can change the layer's opacity to guide you a little bit more, or hide it if it's messing you up. So there's two ways that you can kind of animate that I've worked with. And it's basically, you can draw a fresh new layer every time, or you can duplicate the layer and then make your changes. So each one has its own uses, basically. But so, like for instance, what we can do is, so I draw with my studio pen. Let's use like a 8. So I'm gonna tilt this a little bit, but what I mean is, like, we can draw an eye. Let's just do a simple eye blinking animation. So we're gonna start with the eye open. We're gonna give him a little lid crease. Right, so we can do this. We can add a layer and just kind of draw. So we're gonna draw it kind of closing. We're gonna give them an eyelid. And we're gonna kind of trace another layer. We're gonna draw it more closed. Let's make that a so fast. Okay, we get the point. It's not the best, but or what you could do is draw an eye. Maybe we'll start with an eye on there. Okay, so we have an eye. What you could do is you could duplicate this and then make your changes. So your eye is gonna stay the same. I'm just gonna erase. Draw a little bit lower, draw the eye. So it's really just whichever way you prefer. There's not a better way, or there's not a right way, is whatever feels comfortable to you. And as you go, like different scenarios will be better for redrawing and some will be better for, you know, just duplicating the layer and making small little adjustments. I'm gonna start with a drip letter. So I'm gonna go to add, we're gonna add some text. Let's just do a big H. Oops. I'm gonna change the font. I like using this Big John Pro in bold. Okay. We're gonna rasterize this and let's make it a different color. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to add a new layer, but that's gonna add a new layer because I'm in animation mode. So all I have to do is group it and that'll now be one layer. So I'm gonna choose a darker color. Just slide down that a little bit. And we're gonna draw squigglies. And we're also going to outline this. That's better. Okay, now we're gonna pick a highlight color. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I meant to duplicate this. Okay, so with this, I just duplicated this letter. And on this second, I'm going to take this and I'm going to use the warp tool. And I'm just going to kind of push it down and drag it. And then I'm going to take this one so it's at the same place. And I'm just going to continue to drag it. So it's a little rough, but right, you can kind of get the melting effect just by warping it. So I'm not actually redrawing it each time. But let's start a new canvas now. So that's an application where you wouldn't have to redraw it every time, right? So we're gonna start another 15 by 1500 canvas. We can come back to that one. But let's say I'm just drawing out a word. Let's go. I'm gonna add a new layer. We're pretty much just gonna trace. So then when we play this, we're gonna slow it down. We get a bouncing hello. So in that instance, it would not make sense to just warp it. I mean, you could, but it's just easier kind of to draw it out like that. So also, the last thing is if I wanted to take my drawing, for instance, let's go in this already made little doodles, right? So I have space doodles drawn out. They're all on separate layers. I'm just gonna pinch them to merge them, and I'm going to turn on animation assist. I'm gonna move these up. I just want them more centered. So let's duplicate this, and then I'm gonna use the selection tool. Let's make this one, oops, I don't want freeform, I want uniform. So then when I play it, it would just be moving GIFs that grow in size. So like these are, I upload these on Instagram, you know, just for little quick GIFs. So that one you don't have to you're just, you're not redrawing it, you're just duplicating it and moving it a little bit. So we have this one where it helps to just copy the layer and make adjustments as you go. You don't want to redraw that every time, it'd be pretty time consuming. But then you have the option to redraw if you're just doing something simple. We've got a bouncing hello. Or you could do something where you take the drawing and you just emphasize a little bit and give it some movement. But so if I wanted to post this to Instagram, and just put my background color there. So if I wanted to post this to Instagram, what I would do is I come up here and I go to share and I use animated MP4 and I export it to my phone. I'm recording with my phone, so I'm not going to do that. I don't want to mess it up right now, but I just airdrop it to my phone. And then from there, it won't play in my camera roll, but it will loop on Instagram when I upload it. If I wanted to upload this to GIPHY, what I would do is animated GIF, and I would turn transparent background on, or yeah, off, sorry. You can't see it that well because it's black on black right now, but I would export it and I just save the image to my iPad, and then I can come over here to GIPHY and upload. Choose a file and I use the photo library. I'm choosing the GIF that I just did, and then it's here in black. So I would add my tag so you can find it on Instagram. Diff time. I do it with and without the space just so depending on how people are looking. Let's use doodles. We can do space, aliens. And then we're just going to go upload to GIPHY. And then there we go. So here's my account on GIPHY. So 88.4 million views. That's crazy. And it gives you all the content. So it's kind of cool to scroll through here once you have your account set up for a little bit. So I have 90 uploads in here. Wow, I did not realize that. So that's pretty much the gist of it all. You know, going through how I save them, how I put them in GIPHY, how I put them on Instagram. If you have any questions about what I did, like I said, just let me know. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Different Timeline. You can find my GIFs by searching for Diff Time. And yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. You know, subscribe, that whole spiel. Yeah, have a good one.